Hello, hello. Welcome to another week of Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I am Kelly Breivik, PhD student at UWM, and I am the Dungeon Master.
Yo, I'm Corey Hernot. I'm also a PhD student at UWM in the English department, but I'm in Plan C, getting nowhere in life. It's fantastic. Anyways, I am playing Teretha, the Div Wiz.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm Eric Kirsting. I'm a PhD student at Milwaukee, and I play Willow.
Let's get a recap of what happened last time.
We did a lot of talking.
Yup.
Yeah, that was mostly what we did. It was kind of the aftermath of killing the big bad lich.
Yeah, we were post-lich, cuddling, all that stuff. We had to choose like a chakra. Is I think the word you used?
Pretty
I don't
much.
remember.
Yeah, it's like a planet
We had to
chakra.
we had to choose a planet chakra. We had a list of options, and to everyone else's dismay, we chose the devils to protect the realm.
I love it. Yeah, and you got your legendary weapons to work with. And you know that you've got about 6 to 8 weeks before Angel Day, and Gustash will let you all, relax for a couple of days before the training starts. She is adamant that you do get to training quickly, but it's more important to her that you get used to your newfound abilities before you're really putting the pedal to the metal there. Is there anything you would want to do in those couple of days, or would you like to skip straight to when you start your training?
What does +2 spellcasting focus mean?
You have +2 to all spell attacks.
Cool. Not a saving throw though.
Not saving throws, only to attacks.
Dope.
I mean, I'd be fine with going right to it. I can't think of anything that Willow would be engaged with.
Okay, sounds good. So on the
I don't know about Teretha.
I'm Gucci.
Taratha, roll. What's your passive perception?
17. Unless we've leveled up.
You have not, but you will for next week. Heads up. But anyway, throughout the it's not like all the time, but every now and again you'll notice that Rock and Gravel, the Chain Devils, are skulking around. And anytime they see you, they stop and stare. And then if they notice them, they would immediately just kind of keep walking after that. Almost like you're in the hallways at school, and some people are whispering behind your back, but they stop whispering once they notice that you notice.
I'll just go up to them and be like, yes.
And Rock will look over to you, and he'll just shrug his shoulders and he'll go, Rock and Gravel talk sometimes. We're allowed to talk.
I suggest you tell me what the fuck you're hiding from me. And I'm casting suggestion.
What's the save?
17.
Alright, what kind of save?
That's a good question. It is a wisdom.
Alright, neither of them save.
Dope.
So Rock is usually the one that does the talking. Gravel will be the one that usually corroborates. So Rock will shrug his shoulders and go, well, we were right. We were just saying that you're really mean and probably a bad friend.
So, the point of it? Does this look like a schoolyard to you?
No, but it is a place.
Then why are you talking like it is?
We don't know what school is.
Stay out of my lane or I'll banish you.
We were just walking and saw you. We were not following you.
I will repeat myself one more time and maybe we will get through that thick skull of yours. Stay out of my lane or I will banish you.
If you banish us, you'll make your dad very mad.
I can deal with him.
Well, Rock will look you up and down and go, "You have no lane here. This is Ashina lane, and Ashina welcome us."
Right, right. But the Ashina don't control what I do. So I say, stay out of my lane.
What is your lane? We were here, minding our own business, talking by fountain. And you come over to us. You are in our lane, mean lady.
Yeah, yeah. Eyeing me like you did. I know that game. I don't like that game. And clearly, as I've just found out, being quite rude.
You are rude. And
Yes,
selfish.
I very much admit that.
You
But
would
if you have
make
something
a
to say,
bad devil.
don't just stare at me. Come up to me next time. We'll have a civil conversation. But we don't need to be playing this little game.
You're not civil when you're threatening
You're
to
devils.
banish us.
Act like it.
We are. This is how
I guess
we
you are
act.
being dicks. You're right.
Well, you were the one that interrupted us. We were minding our own business. We can't help that you don't like that.
No, I can't help that you're staring me down like you have something to say, but you're too afraid to come out and say it. Again, stay out of my lane.
Rock and Gravel don't fear little girl.
Which one's talking to me right now?
Rock.
I'm gonna banish him.
Sounds good. Wisdom save again?
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure it is.
And let's roll a quick initiative because turn order matters.
Unnatural 20 in the initiative. And then it
Roll
is
your portent dice
charisma
as well.
save.
If you plan on using it, that is.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said roll your portent for the day just in case you end up using it.
4 and 19.
Okay, so 1 second.
And I'll roll my dice because I'm most likely will be using my dice anyways.
Okay. So you are first. Who are you banishing? Rock?
I'm just banishing the last one that talked to me.
That will be Rock. Are you going to use a portent or your diviner dice before I make the roll?
I can declare my diviner dice after the roll.
Sounds good. So that will be a 19 to save.
Drop it by 4.
All right, and you hear a pop. And then next up is Gravel, who is just going to stare at you and go, let me think of what he would say.
If he can break concentration, then it won't pop. It'll come back.
Oh, right, that is true. But he will go, because I think that they know this well enough, and they're not going to attack yet, but he'll look at you and go, "You are worse than any devil I have seen. Release him back, and I will do nothing to you."
Is that their turn, I imagine?
Yep.
Cool. I'm just gonna dimension door away.
That's fine. And we'll settle that later. couple of days pass, and you are summoned to the Elders' Hall, and Gaztash is awaiting you, and so is the rest of the council. Kuen and Zola are also there amongst the rest of the council, and Gaztash will give a polite nod, and she will say, "I hope the items are treating you well. Have you used them yet?"
Um, in theory,
Tell me how they feel.
generally don't like have things sitting on my head, but fine.
And Willow?
I mean, you don't point a gun at someone unless you intend to use it, and I haven't had a reason to use it, so no, it's just been sitting here. I mean, considering I'm gonna be pilot a giant mech, I may just die before I shoot this thing.
Well, I hope that is not the case. Let us talk about the mechs. I'm actually going to give you the stat block for them. And 1 second. So you will have the full stat block of this thing. It's just you will not have the sort of middle stuff with like their immutable form, legendary resistance, siege master, all that stuff. So you'll have its stats and its actions, but not the kind of middle third of the stats. And Goztash will explain, in order to use the mech to its full capacity, you must both use your actions to pilot it. If you both do so, the ground units will not be able to shake you so easily. If one of you does not use your action to pilot it, the other may still attack, but you will be more easily shaken. You should only ever use your action, both of your actions, to not pilot it if you know that it is near failure. And above table, what that means, what she is suggesting is you can still pilot it if you want to use one of your actions, but there will be ground units, and every round they will be trying to kind of shake the mech. You'll have advantage if both of you are actively piloting it and using its weapons. If you are only using half of, like, so if one person uses their action to do something else other than pilot it, and the other one still is, you would just have a straight roll. And if neither of you are using your action to pilot the mech, then you'll have disadvantage on the roll. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
And so half of a turn would be a slam and an Eldritch Turret. The full round would be slam, 2 Eldritch Turrets, and then stomp. And you could divide that between the 2 of your turns as much as you want, but that's sort of what's going on. And then
Did you link us the thing? Because I'm not seeing it.
I put it in Serious Play General. I'm sorry, not DDM's chat. I'll drop it in DDM's chat. Now, she says that the only time you should start not piloting it is when its HP is pretty low, and it has 410 HP. So once it starts getting chipped away, then you can start considering what you're going to do. The Warforged Colossus is meant to sort of take a lot of damage so that you can deal a lot of damage to these divine creatures, and once they're able to crack past the shell, hopefully you've injured them enough so that you can take them on the rest of the way without the protection of the Warforged. Any questions?
Cool. Yes, have any of our compatriots arrived yet?
Not yet. It's only been like 4 or 5 days at most.
Gotcha.
But what I plan on doing above table is you're going to have this training episode, and then for this like back half of the session. It'll be the arrival of various people. So Gostash will, after explaining to you how the mechs will work, she will say, "Now, although it is important for you to understand the mechs, it is also even more important to know what it will be like for the support on the ground, because we will have warriors defending you from the ground just like they will have theirs. So, for you to understand what your compatriots will be doing, your first training is going to be fighting the monsters that they will be. Fear not, they are mere conjurations and not fully real. You will not perish in these fights, but it will hurt if you get hit, very much like the trials. And I understand that your copy," she says, turning to Taratha, "costs a lot to make if destroyed or harmed. I assure you we will gather the materials to fix anything damaged during training. I will
Sounds good.
allow you to ask one question about what you are going to face. It is best for you to be surprised to a degree, because I am sure the angels will have many tricks and you need to think on your toes. But some preparation is good." So,
I always just, go in blind anyways. So
ha,
bring
Taratha,
it on.
would you have any questions?
I am so tempted right now to just quote Pulp Fiction and say, do they look like a bitch?
Ha,
I'm going to refrain from that because that is not dignified.
sounds good. So you are brought out to the training grounds. You will be able to kind of prepare yourself as you would going into battle. So if there's any bonus actions you need, you will be able to do that before the battle starts. In front of you, there are two grotesque bipedal beasts with a large amount of mouths covering their bodies, and they're lizard-like, and they are hissing as you approach. Then there are two Hulk-like dogs that are large. They're about like 10 feet high, even hunched. So maybe at their full feet, they might even be up to like, 12 feet high. Um, and they've got these large, meaty paws that, what's it called? They're like human hands, but kind of still doggish in nature as well. And then you see one of these panther-like creatures with an eye embedded into its tail. And even the animal-like ones, they don't really have fur. It's almost like a velvety sort of skin. Let's roll for initiative.
19.
Okay, 1 second. And Willa?
Sorry, I hadn't pulled out my character sheet. It's a 7. I think it's a +5, so it's a 13, I think.
Sounds good. Give me one moment.
Do you want the simulacrum to operate on its own turn or my turn?
I would rather it on its own turn.
13.
Since we had a little bit of prep, I have summoned my echo?
Yep.
All right. You can just have it be like 10 feet to my left.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, Clip Studio Paint decided to just do a quick little update there. What's it called? Echo. And then where would your simulacrum be, Taratha?
Probably right next to me.
Okay. All right. So first up is the first nullifier, this large beast with huge arms and big claws, and it comes right up. Actually, I'm gonna have it because it doesn't know the difference between your simulacrum. So odds, it goes to you. All right. So it has a movement of that. So it's going to move 5, 10. Wait, sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and get up to you, Taratha, and it is going to make 3 attacks at you. So the first time it's going to attempt to bite you, and that will be a 24 to hit.
Reaction cast shield. My AC is now 25.
Okay, and then it's going to make 2 claw attacks, and then neither of those will hit.
You have like a base AC of 20?
With the tiara, giving me an additional 2 to my AC on top of my elven chainmail? Yeah, I do.
Wow.
Granted, that's mage armor, so
Yep.
I don't know. You dispel magic me, I lose a lot of AC.
Yep. Next up is Taratha. Oh, I need a wisdom save, actually, because as it approaches you, all of these, like, gibbering mouths are clashing and snarling, and it's kind of, like, addling your mind a little bit.
It's crit.
Alright, you are not affected.
What do I want to do? I don't like the idea that these are called fucking nullifiers, so that scares the shit out of me.
Yup.
So I'm gonna attack it with my dagger.
Nice.
No, I don't have a dagger. I don't know what to do. How about I don't know. What do I do with this thing? I don't know. How many of these are there?
There are 2 of them.
Fuck it, I'll polymorph it into a chicken.
It will attempt to counterspell it. But fail, because it did not roll high enough to counterspell you into a chicken.
Cool. It's now a chicken.
Oh, wait. 1 second. Yeah. So yes, it is now a chicken. Next up is the Absorber.
Next time on its turn, can you make a chicken sound?
Oh, absolutely. And if I forget, you have to remind me.
Oh, I will.
The Absorber 1 is going to rush up to the Echo, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and make 3 attacks. So first it is going to attempt to bite the Echo, but that's a 5 on the dice, so I guess a 14 will not hit. And then 2 claws, those might, that's a 19 and a 26. Eric?
Sorry, I wasn't pushed to talk.
So
I'll take that off. So I was talking the whole time.
Gotcha.
So it only has 1 hit point, and its AC is not mine. It is only it is an 18 AC. So the second that 19 hits,
Okay.
and then that knocks it out. It's gone. If it does more than 1 point of damage, like if it does 0 points of damage on a hit, then the echo is still there.
Okay, then it would go over here to you. I'll re-roll that 26. And it'll miss. But you have...
What it roll?
I mean, it rolled a 4 on the dice.
All right.
Oh.
What?
Did Nullifier 1 attack Taratha?
Yes.
It did.
Shit. I have Sentinel. I could have hit it.
Gotcha.
Can I, since we had a little bit of time to prepare, can I also have my flame tongue out and
Yes.
activated? Okay, these are like my bonus action things that I would do before any fight that I always forget to verbalize that I would do them before any fight. Like that would be just part of right, like Willow's
Mm-hmm.
um, modus operandi, right? She's always gonna have her flame tongue out and lit, and always have an echo floating around if she thinks she's in possible danger.
And
Absolutely.
Eric, just I don't know if you heard or not, but Nullifier 1 is now a chicken. So
I would know.
tell your
I was
echo.
here. I just the only reason it seemed like I wasn't is because I was on push to talk and I wasn't pushing.
I'm always on push to talk.
Do you want to, Taratho, do you want Willow to use her reaction to. Actually, no, it would have been before the.
Yeah, it
It's a
would have been
chicken.
because I used polymorph. It's fine. It's
No,
fine.
I can't. I'm
It's
saying
fine.
I can't do it. I'm saying I can't do it. I needed to say that when it attacked, right? I can't use my
Yeah.
reaction to do something after like 3 turns have gone by, right?
Yeah, no. I would say if it was the start of my turn, we could have done a bit of smudging, but yeah.
That's totally
Alright.
okay.
What was I gonna say? It is now the simulacrum's turn.
I don't like these things. I don't like these things one fucking bit. They suck. They suck. They suck. Because with the nullifier, which we now learn can fucking counterspell, and the absorber, which I don't even know what that does, but I don't like the idea of absorbing anything. So there are 2 nullifiers and there's 2 absorbers. What's the R?
Reverser.
The
Is that
fuck?
the thing is the reverser the thing with the eye on the tail, or is that
the absorber is the thing with the eye on the tail,
Okay,
and the
okay, okay.
reverser is the hulking dog.
Okay, okay.
Fuck. Sorry,
No,
this is like a whole new battle situation, and I'm like just like staring at my spells, which the simulacrum does not gain spell slots back, so I have to kind of be like
well, you
judicious.
also know. I mean, yes, do be judicious, but you know that the Ashina are going to kind of remake it.
Oh, well, that makes everything. So wait, I actually don't know the answer to this question.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a copy of myself, does it also get its own portent?
I hate this so much.
No, I will do this. Just keep going with the turn, and if a portent comes up, I can. But I'll look up the simulacrum and read it while you continue doing your turn.
Sounds good.
Cool, I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to. Can I cast mirror image on something else? It's a range of self, so no. Okay, sorry. I haven't played with a simulacrum in a long time, and it's very, very.
I also threw probably the gnarliest set of monsters. I'm gonna give you these stats afterwards because you can fuck players so hard with this. They're just such great. They're from the Wild Mount source book.
Ooh, I heard really good things about Wildmount. Or maybe that's just been you've been talking about it. I don't know. But that's here or there. I am going to do something really fun. Don't know what it is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the simulacrum. Let me pull up the thing.
Uh-huh.
How many feet are between N2 and R1? Is that
15.
20? 15? Okay, I'm going to cast web in that area.
Nullifier 2 counterspells it.
Well, that's cute because
Tell me more. Are you gonna try and counterspell the counterspell?
Yeah, I can always counterspell the counterspell.
What? Give me a perception check, Taratha, with advantage because you expect it. Because the simulacrum can't cast it because that's 2 spells in a turn. But
no, it'd be reaction. It's not 2 spells in a turn.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm sorry about that. So yeah. So then.
Perception check is a 25, by the way.
No, that doesn't matter because I forgot that you can counterspell as part of the reaction and it doesn't count as part of your turn. So that was my mistake.
Yep, it's the counterspell is really overpowered.
Yep.
Can you answer me this one question
Yep.
about these things? Because now I'm curious. Can
Uh-huh.
they just counterspell all the time?
I mean, they only get one reaction, but they can counterspell at will, which is fucking disgusting.
So I can't like burn through their spell slots like legendary resist. That's fucking
I
that's
That's exactly
that.
why
No,
I'm like, you're gonna hate this fight.
I don't like that. Actually, I'll take back that counterspell. I don't need a cast counterspell. It can be counterspelled. That's fine.
Okay. I mean, there's other things you could do. Like, it's not like an unlimited range, but I just really needed to throw these at you because the lore fits right in, and I'll tell you more about it in the back end. But also, they're just gnarly.
So the rulings, it appears that rules as written, I think you could make the argument that it gets its own portent, but there's a lot of arguments out there that the simulacrum would be seeing the same glimpses of the future as the original divination wizard. So a DM could rule that you don't get double portent because it's the same future that's being glimpsed upon by the same character essentially.
Gotcha.
That's fair.
I would
Though
do a happy
I'm just saying what I'm
medium.
reading is that raw is that you get class features and then rules as intended. It's murky. It's up to DM's interpretation.
I would say it gets one instead of two.
that's fair. It rolled a 9.
All right. It is now. Would the simulacrum do anything else?
No, that's their turn.
All
They,
right.
they'll move back 10 feet.
Yeah, the chicken won't be able to do much. It does a little, pretty much. And it'll attempt to peck and rolls a 3.
That surprisingly does
Oh
not
shit!
hit.
And actually, would that trigger your sentinel, Willow?
My Discord just froze for a second. What happened?
I said, if do you have to be within 5 feet of the creature or 5 feet of the victim for you to get
that's
sentinel?
Well, I have to be able to hit it with an attack, so I assume
Yep.
it has to be within 5 feet of me.
Right, but I need to know if the victim also has to be within 5 feet of you.
Whenever a creature within your reach makes an attack against a target other than you,
You
that's all it
could,
says.
if you choose, attack the chicken because it did attempt to attack the simulacrum, but you
Why
can
would
also
you?
choose not to.
I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna do that.
That is fine. Next up is Reverser 1, who, 1 second.
Everybody goes before me.
Yup.
Oh wait! Oh fuck! I have advantage on initiative rolls. God fucking damn it!
Live and learn. 5, 10,
I want to smash
15,
my
20,
head into the wall.
25.
God.
And it's going to make 3 attacks. It's going to first attempt to bite you, and then it's going to make 2 whacks.
Who is you?
Willow.
Okay.
The first attack is a 14, and the claws are, wow, all single digits on the dice, so none of them hit you. At long last, oh wait, there's no Reverser 2, I only put one of them. Oops. Oh, it's Absorber 2 that's supposed to go, not Reverser, sorry.
Where's Tolly?
She's not here right now.
She's sulking about her best friend being a jerk.
Pretty much. Absorber 2 is going to attempt to Mind Bolt Willow. And that
Bad idea.
will be a 26 to hit.
Misses.
Genuinely?
No, it hits.
You're immune to psychic damage, right?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm resistant.
Oh,
Not
resistant.
immune.
Okay. So you'll take half damage of this. 1 second.
D&D is such a fun game.
25, half down to 12. And then it is going to come up on Willow and make 2 claw attacks.
I can do both of them. It can do its spell and its attack. Woohoo.
I mean, it could either bite or do its Mind Bolt. But those are two. I'm rolling a
Didn't it?
lot of single digits right
Yeah.
now. So
Okay.
none of them hit. Willow, it is now your turn.
Well, I guess I'm probably not gonna have a better time to action surge. So we'll go ahead and we'll use our bonus action to make the Echo Knight.
Sounds good.
Right behind, well, pop right behind the R1. I can't reflector. Is that the name of it?
Reverser.
Reverser. The reverse. Oh, great. Right behind A1, the absorber. Oh God, I
Wait,
don't know
which
their
one?
names. I don't know their names. I'm doing the reflector because that's the one that actually that looked the scariest to me. It's the big dog, and it's the unique one. So the
Yep.
reverser, right behind reverser.
Okay.
I was metagaming about their names, but I don't know their names. It's just the dog.
Yep.
So the echo appears behind it, and then I'm going to use action surge, and I will. I'm going to attack. I'm going to attack twice. So use the attack action twice, and each of the 2 times I'm going to use
Fighting
Unleash.
Spirit. Oh no, wait, you can't.
I don't have that. I'm going to use Unleash Incarnation. So when I take the attack, I can make an additional attack from my Echo's position.
Nice.
So. Yes. Okay. So then. Just give me just a second. I was just looking at another thing. Okay. So that's 8 attacks total.
Oh my god.
So, and if I kill it, I'll move the attacks onto Absorber 2.
Sounds good.
So the first 2 is the first one's a 15 and the second one is a 23.
Both hit.
Okay. Do you want me to roll? I guess I should probably do the damage.
I doubt you're going to kill it with these 2, so at least get through 4 attacks.
All right. The next 2 attacks. There's a natural 1, so that's going to miss. And then there's a 25.
That'll hit. So do the damage for those 3 at least.
Okay. So... 4... 32... 9. So the first 2 do 39, and I have 1 more hit in the first 4. And so that will be 39 plus 19, which is 2 less, 58 damage.
Sounds good. It is currently not bloodied.
Okay, so we'll do 4 more attacks against it because I'm action surging.
Sounds good.
Note that normally I don't have 4 attacks in a turn. It's because of the Unleashed Incarnation. Okay, so I think these will both hit. It's a 19 and a 22.
Yep.
And I'll just do the other 2. That's not very good. An 11 and a 14.
The second 2 do not hit.
All right, so 2 of these hit. Note that there's some fire damage in here. Does that matter?
It does not.
Okay. So. Get 35 damage on the second.
Okay, 1 second.
And then.
Okay, it is now bloodied.
That's all my turn. I just cut into this thing.
You unleash almost 100 HP's worth of damage onto this dog. It sears. You could smell the flesh burn, but you don't see blood, which is odd. As you cut it open, there's almost like this sort of like vacuum of emptiness on the inside, as if it's just like you can feel the slice of like meat and carnage, but inside it's almost like looking to a vast abyss. And as you pull your sword out, the wound sort of closes over. Not that it heals, but it's just sort of covering up the inside. Next up is Nullifier 1. It's a chicken. So it's just going to attempt to attack Taratha. And we'll roll an 8, so that will not do it.
Nope.
Taratha, it is now your turn.
I'm going to hold until after my simulacrum's turn.
Sounds good. Next up is Absorber 1, who is going to, one second, do a Mind Bolt over at Taratha. That will be, one second, a 22 to hit.
Yep.
All right, so that is going to do 27 points of damage.
Cool.
Psychic
For
damage.
future reference, is that a spell?
It is not. Yeah, it's not a spell. It's like imagine it like a breath weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So I need a DC 13 Constitution saving throw to keep Polymorph up.
That was a 13 on the dot plus 9, so a lot.
Nice. All right, and then it is going to move over and attempt to attack you 2 more times. Willow, you can reaction Sentinel if you would like.
Is this the Absorber?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will reaction Sentinel after the first attack.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just curious about the wording.
Yeah.
When you can use reaction to make it looks like my attack goes through before, just for future reference.
Oh, yeah, because
Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's at full health right now, but yes, that is an important distinction to make.
So I'll swing at it.
It crits you, and then also a 18, which will not hit you.
Yikes on the crit, but I had to roll a natural 15 plus 9, 24 to hit.
Okay, so you will hit it. I'll roll the damage for Taratha. Do you have resistance to force damage at all, Taratha?
Nope.
Okay. 24 points of damage, and I need another Constitution saving throw.
Did it bit Taratha? Is that right?
Claw.
As the claw reaches in, I slice the blade up and cut, like, make a huge gash through the claw, and like this flame just eats away at the skin.
What do I gotta roll?
Con save to keep a polymorph.
Cool. 23.
Yep, you're good. What's the damage to the absorber?
Oh, sorry. I thought I said that 19 damage.
Oh, sorry. I missed that. I was too caught up in the flavor of, like you cut through its skin and it withers away a little bit.
No, 18 damage. I'm sorry, 18.
It's all good. Next up is a simulacrum.
Simulacrum is going to cast Polymorph on the other nullifier.
All right, it will attempt to counterspell that.
It rolls a 9.
But it gets to add its modifier, correct?
Oh. And if it's 5, then it's just gonna succeed anyways.
It's a 17 DC.
No, to counterspell a level 4 spell, it's a 14. It doesn't matter what spell you're casting.
Oh, then if it's a counterspell, I'll just counterspell the counterspell. That's fine by me.
4th level counterspell roll.
I'm just thinking. I was like, this is because you definitely were holding your turn. You don't have to make a perception check. You knew what was happening. So you counterspell this counterspell, and now it has to do the saving throw. So you want to use the polymorph now on the like with the portent.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a charisma save.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be a 17, which will not do it.
I can use Taratha's die to do it.
Well, no. I'm just saying your save is an 18, isn't it?
17.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm using the simulacrum's portent, and I can use Taratha's die.
Kelly, you're used to Anushka, who's got a +6 to intelligence.
What do you mean? Oh yeah, that's true.
Anushka's got the 18 DC, but most characters at this level will not have an 18 DC.
Yep. Sorry, you have a lot of stuff going on, Corey. I understand now. So then you use your die to do it down, and it's another chicken.
Chicken.
All right. It is now.
And
go ahead.
Simulacrum is going to fly 30 feet up.
Sounds good. I'm just going to make it transparent somewhat to know that it's off the ground. And then, Taratha, you said you were holding your turn until after the simulacrum?
Yeah. let's see. I've got in front of me nullifier 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's. Is there anything that's going to give me an opportunity attack if I try to move?
Three things. You could take your action to disengage.
Yeah, I'll just disengage. I'm going to fly up.
Do you have like Misty Step or anything too? You could just. Whoop.
That's true.
But that is then. You would only be the cantrips as an action, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just disengage and fly up.
Sounds good. How high?
30 feet.
Sounds good. Next up, we have Reverser 1, who is not the biggest fan of Willow. And I'm just going to have it, just a quick in check. Yeah, nat 20's that one. It remembers how easily the Echo was able to be, vanished, so it's going to roll its first attack at it.
I summon an Echo whenever I want, so sure, you can attack it.
Well, that's what it's gonna do. So it didn't.
No, that's fine. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it doesn't know how easily you're able to do that. It knows that you can summon it. It has a decent-ish intelligence to think that maybe it might be a finite resource, but it doesn't know that you could just at will summon it. So it hits it because that's over 20, so it'll pop the Echo out of there. And you can make. Oh no, you used your action already. So then it is going to make.
Even if I didn't, I can't because the Echo also has Sentinel, and you can't Sentinel attack somebody who's attacking someone who has Sentinel.
Gotcha.
It's like it's the weird byline rule.
Gotcha.
The target of the attack cannot have the Sentinel feat.
That's amazing.
It's obviously to prevent abuse, right? If you have two people with Sentinel next to each other, then nobody can attack them without getting attacked.
Yep. So then next up we have 2 claw attacks at you, which will be a 12 and a 23.
12 misses, 23 hits.
Oh my god, that's 3 6s. Incredible. 23 points of damage.
Cool.
Sorry, I was just amazed that 3 6s on a d6, even though it's its worst attack. Next up is Absorber 2, who is going to do a Mind Bolt over at Taratha, which will not do it. And then what it is going to do is go over. You can. You already reactioned, right, Willow?
Yeah, I'm out.
And it's going to attack the chicken. And hit for. 1 second, that's the wrong dice. 12 damage on it. 11 of which goes over to Nullifier 1. And then it is going to move back and make its last attack on Willow. That's a d12. For 23, which...
That'll hit.
For an awful amount of damage, almost minimum, 7.
Cool.
And then next up is Willow.
Well, let's pop that Echo back in.
Yep.
This time, put the Echo, I want it to be 10, 15 feet up and to the left. So, like, away from everybody else. They don't need to know this, but what my plan is for next turn, I'm going to swap places with it.
Nice.
15 feet up and to the left would be 2 down from where that is.
From you.
2 spaces down. Yeah, sorry, from me. And so then
I actually need you to make me a wisdom saving throw as well. You could get the bonus action off, but
it doesn't matter. The bonus action doesn't have to go off.
Nah, I like it still going off, but it's a wisdom saving throw as the teeth of the nullifier in front of you
20.
is gnashing. Yep, you're good.
Cool. Wait a minute. Oh man, I'm so much weaker now. It's not a 20. Um, I have to redo some of my stats because I just realized that like I gain like some bonus stuff from being a samurai that I no longer have. So samurais get it proficiency in that saving throw, but I guess I am no longer proficient in it. So that's only a 15.
Roll me a d8.
Yeah. It's a 6.
You are frightened until the end of the turn. You use your movement to get as far away as possible.
Do I have an action?
You will, but you have to get away after it. Or if you use your action, then I would say that you.
Well, I just how does the frightened condition work? Like, there's like
Yeah, it's just
I don't know.
it's
You
just
just need to let me know what the rules are here, because there's some spells like that are like you have to use all your things, but
right. It
normally
just
it's
has
just I would have.
you have to use your movement, so you can choose to use your action to disengage, so you don't get
I don't give a fuck.
AOs.
No, I don't care about that. One sec.
It just means you have disadvantage on
Well, yeah. I know what the frightened condition
Yeah.
does, but then you're telling me that I need to use my movement, so that's beyond the frightened condition.
right.
Right? And so that's why I don't know what the rules are for that. So sometimes with that, it'll say they need to use their action and to dash and use all their movement. Like, is
Yeah.
that this case, or is
No,
this
I would
just?
say you have to use your movement. It does not say anything about actions, but what I am going to rule is if you want to have an action to attack, then you would not be disengaging. Bowie.
Yeah, of course. I don't
Yeah.
want to disengage. I don't give a fuck if they, how they punch me.
Sounds good. So, which direction will you be going?
I only have one direction I can go. I can't move through the other space.
That's true.
So I can only move towards Teretha. You could make the argument that I can't even
No,
even move that way, but
Yeah, I would say you
I
can't.
said you can make the argument. I'm not saying. Oh, I don't think you. At least when I run the game, you can't move diagonally through other creatures, like who are hostile to you. They're taking up that space, in my opinion. But I'll move to the right through Teretha.
But that's getting closer to the nullifier.
And that's the one frightening me.
Yeah.
Then I can't. I mean, by my estimation, I can't move. But if you're saying I can move through the 2 absorbers, then move me through the 2 absorbers. That's fine. I will move first, and then I'll take my action.
Sounds
so go
good.
ahead and hit me.
Absorber 1 and 2. Roll a 16 and a 21. Do either of those hit?
21 hits.
Okay. I'll just roll everything at the end. The reverser will miss with the 16, and the nullifier will also probably miss. Yeah, so you only get 1 hit that attacks, correct? I mean, 1 attack that hits? Okay.
Yep.
So that will be 17 points of damage.
Sounds good.
And now, do your worst.
So I'll pull out Forget About It.
Uh-huh.
Forget about it.
I love it.
And we'll go ahead and we'll take, we'll use our action to attack, and we're going to take 3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
And just because I'm a dick, instead of getting disadvantage on these attacks because I can see this dumb nullifier cat, I'm going to close my eyes and take these 3 shots. So I have disadvantage on them anyways.
But I love it.
Disadvantage because I'm closing my eyes, not disadvantage because I'm afraid.
I love it.
And so I'm going to take all 3 shots at the source of my fear, at the nullifier, because that also... Wait, no. I've already dealt a lot of damage to one of them. Absorber 1 was it? Or
The reverser.
reverser. The
Not
reverser,
quite
yes.
death's door, but it's not doing too hot either.
So let's go ahead and take our 3 attacks against them. So they're going to be all with disadvantage, and they're all going to be plus
Also, roll a d6 to see
11
which
to
one's.
hit.
Yeah, and also roll a d6 to see which one's the poison bullet.
Oh, that's how it works. I thought it was roll. You okay? I see what
So,
you
like,
mean.
what number in
When
the
I
chamber?
read it initially, I thought I roll a d6 every time, and I hit a 1. It's the poison bullet. So this time, the poison bullet is bullet number 4.
Okay.
So it's going to be hitting this turn.
All right.
So bullet number 1 is going to be plus 11, 16 to hit.
That will hit.
Bullet number 2 is going to be 14 to hit.
That will not.
And bullet number 3 will be 19 and 18 on the dice. That's pretty good for
Nice.
disadvantage. So that'll be 29 to hit.
2 hit.
So 2 hit. So let's go ahead and I'll do those first before I choose to do the Echo Incarnation attack because I have one more of those.
Yep.
So they do. All right. So it's gonna have to make 2 Constitution saving throws.
First one is a 14 on the die and then a 16 on the die. So that'll be 1 second.
They both beat the DC. It's 15. Oh, but it's half damage. It's half damage on a success. So.
Yep.
Oh
so
my
yeah.
gosh. I needed more D6. I don't have my.
You're
I don't
almost like a
normally
rogue now.
Yeah.
Hey!
Okay. Hi, Franz. Okay. So the first bullet does. Oh god. I dropped the dice. Sec. I'm gonna re-roll it. All right. So it does 3 plus 9. It does 12. Yeah. Wait. No. Sorry. It does 10 piercing damage from the bullet, and it does 6, 7, 8, 9. It does 9 poison damage, but since it succeeded, it takes half, so it takes 4 damage.
Okay, and then the second bullet.
Poison. The second bullet. Wait a minute. Oh wait. Oh, it's only that bullet that gets the poison damage. My bad. Sorry. I'm a
Shot through the heart.
dumb. So the poison damage didn't happen.
Okay.
Just the second attack deals 14 damage, and that'll be that'll be it. I'm actually not going to attack from the Echo because I don't want to have disadvantage on the attack.
Yep. And the reverser is on death's door at this point.
Oh wait, really?
Yep.
Shoot. All right, so I need the Echo. I can move 30 feet as a free action. I just need to get it within 30 feet of me. So if I could just move up to be like due north of me 30 feet, that would be fine. Otherwise it vanishes if it's more than 30 feet away.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. You are no longer frightened. It only lasts until your turn. Up next is Nullifier 1, who is pretty pissed at Taratha.
Fuck you too.
And it can't do much, but it will attempt to do one thing. And it's going to dispel magic on you, or at least cast dispel magic on you.
That's cute.
Are you going to counterspell?
Yeah, I'm going to counterspell it.
All right. That is its turn. And then what it is going to do is move back just a little bit. 5, 10, 15. And then next up, it is Absorber 1, who is going to... 1 second.
I don't like this, Kelly. I don't like this one fucking bit.
These are the worst things. So these creatures were made to fight angels and demons. And like the lore about it is like they're made for like exactly these kinds of fights. So they either fight with angels against other angels, or they fight with armies to kill angels and stuff like that, and it's just amazing.
Apparently they're smart enough to understand how polymorph works.
Yep. They have a decent enough int, and they also, what's it called? Like, they're just all magic trained. There's some other things that we haven't even touched yet that they can do.
I don't like that.
So then Absorber 1 is going to follow Willow 5, 10, 15, 20. And make 3 attacks, 1 with its bite, 2 with its claws. The bite is a 26. The 2 claws are, wow, I think all 3 might hit, 22 and 23. Do all hit, Eric?
Oh, I thought those were attacking Teratha. I must have zoned out during that part. They were all above 20?
Yep.
Yep, they all hit.
Okay, so 21.
Do your worst.
45 points of damage.
Cool.
But that is its full turn. And then after that is a simulacrum.
What happened to my turn?
You delayed your turn last round, so that puts yourself in a new order. So now you are.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
What? I didn't know that. Well, whatever.
Yeah, delaying turn and holding action are 2 different things.
Well, delaying turn has no rules as written, so Kelly gets to make that up whatever she wants.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I went over this like explicitly with Friday, and I had assumed that it'd come up at this point. So what I'll do is I'll put you back up. We'll just pretend you delayed, quote unquote, this turn. You could choose to go before or after your simulacrum, but I'll put you back up after the nullifier. But moving forward, if you want to delay your turn, that'll permanently delay you in the order, but holding an action will not change your turn order.
Is that raw?
Well,
I'm asking because I don't know.
There's no such thing as delaying a turn in D&D. It doesn't exist in the rules as written. The only thing you can do is hold an action, so then you lose your movement and your bonus action and any other things you can do on your turn.
And it uses your reaction.
And it uses your reaction to do whatever you're holding your action for. So you're saying, like, I will attack the reflector when it comes close. So you lose your movement, you lose that. Well, you could use your movement and then say, I'm holding my action to do this. And then when the trigger happens, you can use your reaction if you want to do the held action thing. And if you use any spell that uses a spell slot, whether or not you complete the action or the condition that you specified occurs, you do waste the spell slot. Those are like the rules as written for holding an action.
Okay. Anyways, my simulacrum's turn. I'm just going to fly up another 30 feet and cast Mirror Image.
Nice.
And then on my turn, I'm going to do the exact same thing.
Sounds good. All right. 1 second. 5, 10, 15, 20. Question, because it's important.
Yeah.
Do you fly up first?
There's now 8 Terathas.
Oh my god, that's my worst fucking nightmare. I thought that Fran's mirror image was bad. This is somehow worse. I'm kidding. Reverser 1 is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And continue to attack Willow. One's a miss on a single digit, the other's a dirty 20, and the last one is also a miss. Dirty 20 hits you, though, correct?
Yep.
That will be 11 points of damage between slashing and force. Next up, we have Absorber 2, who is going to pew-pew the other chicken. And will hit, but it's going to do some damage to him. 1 second. 4d10, in fact. Wow.
I knew I should have fucking vanished. I don't know why I didn't fucking vanish. I'm like, oh, chickens are cute.
I mean, if it's any consolation, it rolls almost max damage and does 35 points of damage to the nullifier to get it back.
That's kind of cute. Running. I don't know how much health these things have, but that's cute at least.
1 second. And then it's going to move up to Willow again. And make 2 claw attacks. And miss both times, because that's an 18 and way less than that.
Okay.
Willow, it is now your turn.
Okay, so I had to sheath the sword in order to shoot those guys. So I guess now I need to use my bonus action to fucking make it have flames again. God, I hate this. Um. Okay. So I'm gonna use my bonus action to swap with my echo,
Sounds good.
and that costs 15 feet of my movement.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna then use the last 15 feet of my movement to back up an additional 15. So I'm moving 15 feet just due north. I'm trying to get hopefully out of the range of the
Sounds.
no, of the reflector and the guy, the
Okay.
absorbers. So that way, like, maybe they can't run up and hit me this next turn. So just let me double check that that's right. 10, 20. Yep, that's 45 feet away. So I don't know. We'll see. And then let's go ahead and just we'll shoot him with forget about it. So the next one will
We'll have the
be
damage.
we'll have yeah. So this we'll shoot with the reflector because he's looking really hurt. So maybe this puts it over the edge. So I'm just gonna do this attack first.
Yep.
So it looks like it'll probably hit. That's a 27 to hit.
That will hit. Just roll that one first, just in case.
Yep.
And this is it has to do the con save for the poison damage.
Yeah.
It will pass with an 18 on the die.
So it does the piercing damage. Does 16 piercing.
Okay. That
And
actually
then-
will do it.
Okay.
Because it had
So-
13 HP left.
So the shot rings out, poof, it pierces into the chest, and like the little like green remnants, like there's a little like poison explosion in the chest, and it,
You hear yelp
yeah, and it falls onto the ground.
and a dog yelp.
Between the other 4 enemies that I can see, there's the 2 absorbers and the 2 nullifiers. Who looks more hurt?
They are all so. Nullifier 2 is the most hurt out of all of them, but they seem beefier than the absorbers. The absorber 1 has taken 18 points of damage.
So can I make like some sort of wisdom check to know what I should shoot at if I'm looking to get something close to killing it?
I mean that would take your action to sort of do that. So
Okay. I didn't know if I could passively just know that. We'll go ahead and the nullifiers seem to be really hurting my friend, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take some pot shots at nullifier 2.
sounds
No,
good.
don't worry about it. It'll be fine next turn.
Ooh. Actually, which of these things looks the least charismatic?
1 second.
They're fucking hell beasts.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are charismatic.
Oh man.
Well, we've had some charisma saving throws going around. Maybe that's why I'm asking.
I mean, you watched with the nullifiers, Taratha had to use all of her stuff to make that thing fail.
A charisma save.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
I'm
you
gonna-
imagine that the nullifier is a bit tougher with that.
All right, so I'm gonna attack A1 with the next 2 shots, okay?
Yep.
And so those are pretty good. Those are gonna be a 21 and a 25 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So damage wise, they're going to deal. I'm looking for my whatever. I'll just roll this. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's pretty good. They'll do 17 plus 15, so they'll 32 total damage.
Nice.
And I needed to make a charisma saving throw.
Nice. Give me
Oh
one.
wait, it doesn't banish it; it just connects it to you. Never mind. Why I wouldn't want to do that.
Okay.
I thought for some reason I was thinking it was a banishment. I don't know why, but it's not. It's the opposite. It's because it's charisma save, and banishment is like the only charisma save that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yep. No, this is like to stop someone from like running away when you're trying to beat it
Yep.
down.
Yep. So never mind. I won't. It doesn't have to make a Christmas, but it takes that 32 damage, and then that'll be it for my turn. I'm sorry that took a little bit.
It's all good. So fun
The
fact about the
echo,
thing.
it vanished. It vanishes. By the way.
Okay. Um,
Well, okay. Well, I might as well waste one of the reactions. I can mentally command it to move, so I'm gonna have the echo run, and then one of them can take an opportunity attack against it.
well, they both could.
Well, then both of them can. You don't even have to roll the attacks
Okay.
because it's gonna poof. It's just if they're gonna, if I can waste the reactions, I might as well, right? Because
Yeah.
it's going to poof regardless of what I do.
Yeah. So they're gonna do that. And probably hit because that's an 18 and a 19.
Yeah,
So
it has a lower AC than me.
Yep. And fun fact, the thing that the reverser, the thing that I love about it because it's so fucking brutal is any creature that tries to regain health within 30 feet of it, it can use its reaction to make the healing nullified to 0 and then deals 3d8 force damage instead.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
It is such
Jesus!
a disgusting combo, these three.
That was by far the most egregious. That's just fucking cruel. Like, constantly countertone? Yeah, that sucks. I forget what the Absorber did. But yeah, that's just cruel.
I know.
Oh,
it's
God.
just like knocking you while you're
It's
down.
all in a wound.
Nullifier 1 can tell that you are trying to do something big, so it is going to cast an abjuration spell on itself, and it is now shimmering in this sort of like field that is protecting it. You can take with that what you will. It is now your turn.
Cool. I'm going to fly 1 foot higher.
Uh-huh.
So I'm now 61 feet high.
Uh-huh.
I want to make that very clear. I am 61 feet in the air.
Uh-huh.
You want that noted? Mark down. Put it in your sticky notes.
Yep.
Fucking hell. Okay. God, I didn't want to do this, but this is my only option. I am going to now be a magic missile ballista, and I am going to, because that's 120 feet, and counterspell is a 60-foot range. People forget that counterspell has a range. Anyways, I am going to magic missile. What do we have left? 2 of the nullifiers.
Yep, Nullifier 1 is covered in this magical field.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yep, I just wanted to make that clear before you chose your target.
And what's the other one? We have an absorber left, or no?
We got 2 absorbers and a nullifier.
Cool. I'm gonna attack nullifier 2 with a level 2 magic missile. So that's minimum 5 damage plus. $20 damage.
Sounds good. It takes that. Do you want to do anything else with your movement since you only moved 1 foot? Alright. Next up is Absorber 1, who is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It is going to make 1 Mind Bolt attack at Taratha, and that will be a 28 to hit.
Just to double check, what's the range on that? Taratha's like 90 feet away from that
its
thing.
Its range is 120.
Alright, I just wanted to check.
Yeah, fuck Taratha.
I mean, it can only do that one thing to you at this point.
It's fine. I'll take it.
23 points of psychic damage.
Except it hits one of my mirror images.
You're right. All right, so that happens. Perfect. And then it is going to
asshole.
attack Willow with 2 claws. It's a 13 and a 23.
23 will hit.
Okay. That will be uh, 13 points of damage.
Okay.
Then after that is a simulacrum.
Moves 1 feet in the air.
You got it.
The non-sparkly nullifier, it's gonna do again a level
Yep.
2 thingy majig.
Mm-hmm.
So that's baseline 4 damage.
Sounds good.
$13 damage.
Sounds good. After that, oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, then Absorber 2, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It is going to do a Mind Bolt towards Taratha and roll a dirty 20.
Hits a mirror image.
All right. It's just a 1 HP, correct? So I don't have to roll.
Yeah, they just poof.
Yep. And then
one mirror image left.
Claw attacks
Fine.
at Willow.
I have 4 shields, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping that helps me.
And that is going to be a 15 and a 27.
27 hits.
11 points of damage.
Okay.
After that is Nullifier 2, who is going to also...
Just to influence Mr. Nullifier 2's turn, I have only 5 HP.
It will still, what's it called? Cast a spell on itself to protect itself from these magic missiles that are coming at it. And it is now...
Pew, 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 pew,
Yep.
pew, pew.
After that, it is Nullifier... Oh no, it's Willow's turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna bonus action.
Second wind.
I'm gonna second wind. It's funny that it happened this way because I did not intend. I didn't know what the reflector did. I just did. I have a lot of bonus actions, so you know. So it'll be 16. Does anything happen as I do that?
Nope.
Okay.
You killed the reverser, so it's a good thing you waited until after that, after you killed it, to do that.
Like I said, I had no idea. So then, so I have a question.
Yeah.
I have my undoing, and undoing is still like a katana. Is it still a +2 katana when I'm not attuned to it?
I would say the +2 still is, but all the extra stuff that comes with it is not.
The only extra thing is that I can cast a spell magic once a day.
Yeah, so it's still a +2.
So it's but the thing is that that's better than my rapier or my flame tongue, which is without bonus action activating it, it is like worse.
Yep.
So at the end of last turn, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, go ahead.
So I've got Absorber 1 right in front of me, and Absorber 2, and Absorber 1 I've hit quite a few times. How's Absorber 1 looking?
Just bloodied.
Just bloody. Oh no.
Gotta go big, boy.
Okay, so okay, fine. Yeah. So how are the nullifiers looking?
Nullifier
Sparkly.
2 is just barely bloodied. Nullifier 1 is looking great.
All right, so I'm just gonna throw 3 attacks at Absorber 1.
Sounds
That's
good.
the right answer.
All right, so that's a 23 and a 28, and then the final attack is a 14.
The last one will not hit.
Okay. So that both sides of the spectrum at 8 and a 1 on the damage. So that'll be 17 plus 9, 26.
All right, it is
As I cut into it twice, and
very
then
close to death's door.
I will just chill
Sounds good.
and await to be clawed to death.
Yep. The nullifiers, though, they're not too worried about you, Willow, because they know that the other ones are going to have at you very shortly. So this one's going to move up to just kind of stand underneath Taratha, or actually, I forget it's moving 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, it could go over here. And it's just gnashing its teeth and pointing up at you both as if to say, "You're next. Taratha, it is your turn." Oh, and then it'll take the dodge
Cool.
action.
It's cute. Which the nullifier did that?
Yup.
Okay, the bloodied fuckface. What's it called?
Absorber.
Zorber. I'm gonna cast Firebolt on it.
All right, give me 1 second.
That's gonna be a 25 to hit.
That will hit. Just give me 1 second. Okay.
Oh,
Yep.
hot diggity daffodil. That's amazing. That's gonna be 24 damage.
You watch as the tail twitches and sucks up half of the damage.
That's fine. I figured 12
But
damage is still 12 damage.
it is on death's door with that. Anything else?
I can't do shit. It's my action. I'm gonna spit on it. Can I spit on the nullifier below me?
Sure. You get a big old loogie out there.
Dope.
And then Absorber 1 is going to attack Willow. That's a 2. Incredible. A 2, 4, and 2 on the dice.
Oh wow! So I just parry them with the sword and shield, kind of holding the blows off, trying to hold on for another turn of action.
Yup. And then afterwards, it is the Simulacrum's turn.
I'm gonna cast Firebolt on the thing that's on death's door.
All right.
22.
Yep. Roll your damage. It will absorb half of it.
That's going to be a 22 damage, so 11.
Just does it.
Dope.
So you knock Absorber 1 off its feet. Next up is Absorber 2, who is going to attempt to bite Willow. Rolls a nat 1.
Okay.
So it bites its tongue. Okay. That's a 4, but then a dirty 20 on the last
20
one.
just hits, yeah.
So I think that'll do it because it has a base of, wow, that was minimum damage. But that does do 7 points of damage.
Okay. I'm still up.
Oh, bless. Oh, yeah, because I forgot you have your, you second winded. Yep. Amazing. Next up is Nullifier 2, who is also going to walk over to by Taratha. They have a lot of movement, so.
Are they still sparkly?
They are still sparkly.
I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I don't even know what to do with that.
Yup. Willow, it is now your turn.
Okay. Well. I will pull out the flame tongue. Every time I do an attack, I finish it by sheathing whatever I just attacked with, so I can unsheath whatever weapon best suits this next turn.
Okay.
I'll unsheath.
In the future, if you could just
assume that whenever I attack that I always sheath the weapon at the end of my turn.
Okay.
Except for the flame tongue, unless the flame tongue I'll try to specifically say. Okay. Because that one has an actual reason not to sheath it.
Yep.
So I'll pull out the flame tongue, and I will bonus action cause it to erupt in flames.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will attack this.
Sounds good. Fuck its day.
Oh, we'll. Okay, so that's a 2 and a 3 on the dice. Oof. So that's a. It's only +9 on this one. So it's a 10 and a 9 to hit.
Neither
and then the
will
last
hit.
one, that's a natural one. So.
Oh my god.
I just I'm not doing anything this turn. That's okay.
Yeah, Willow, she's on her last leg right now. She's already second winded. She is one tough cookie.
I forgot that I'm not frightened, and I closed my eyes and swung it around again.
Next up is Nullifier 1. Who can't do much because they have their eye on Taratha. They know that the what's it called? What are they gonna try and do? Yeah, they won't do anything actually. And then next, they'll take the dodge action. Tareth, it is now your turn.
Okay. I'm going to cast Firebolt on the only remaining absorber.
Sounds good.
Dirty 20.
That will hit.
21.
Okay, so that'll get halved, but it does take that damage. Simulacrum.
Same. That's going to be 19.
That will hit.
That tiara is just making me roll plus 11s like fucking crazy. Anyways, that is going to be 16 damage.
All right. Then after that is Absorber 2, who is going to make their attacks at Willow. The first one is a 26.
That'll hit.
For, oof, 16 points of damage.
How much? 16?
Yep.
That'll do it. I'm out.
All right. Well, I'm not going to make you. And then it's going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and go up to Taratha. And that's its turn. Nullifier 2 won't do anything, Willow. Make me a death save.
Yep.
And you're not going to actually die.
That's a fail.
Okay. It's just more, do you pop up is the question. Nullifier 1 is dodge action, Taratha, and Simulacrum.
I'm just going to roll 2 Firebolts against the absorber.
Sounds good.
One is base 17, so...
Yep, just do that one first to see if it changes what you do next. But this time, as you take it, I need a dexterity saving throw.
Even though I am 61 feet in the air?
Correct.
Did it jump up in the air or something?
You're gonna find out what happens next.
Okay. Dexterity save, you said?
Correct.
23.
All right. It absorbs half of it and fires it back out at you, but you're able to dodge right out of the way.
What's the range on that thing?
Too much.
That's dumb. Whatever. It's 15 damage.
All right. Is that pre-halving?
Yes.
Okay. Next up is the Simulacrum.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. 27 lot. That's gonna be 23 damage.
Sounds good. Math is difficult, but I'm getting there. And it does not have to do the save. Next up is Absorber 2, who is going to shoot a Mind Blast at you, Taratha. That will be a 22.
I'm just gonna shield.
Sounds good. And then Nullifier 2. We'll kind of see what's going on, and they are going to 5, 10, 15, 20. And try and take care of Willow. And they will roll a 26 and just make a single claw attack on her.
All right, I'm out.
Yep. And Willow, you are not dead, but as soon as that happens, it's almost like waking up with a jolt in the middle of the night, and you find yourself back in the Elder's Hall. And Gostash will look at you and shake her head a little, and she'll go, "Did not go well, I see." How do you respond?
I'll collect myself for a moment, and I'll just say, "Used to fighting with another, I guess." And I'll go walk off.
Taratha, give me a charisma saving throw.
That is what is my charisma? Dirty 20.
All right, you feel yourself almost being able to, what's it called? Fight this off, but you and your simulacrum are quickly pulled away from the battle and find yourself pop teleported into the Elder's Hall, and you see Willow walking off. Uh, I guess you were heading out, Willow?
Yeah.
And Goztash will go, Willow, hold on.
I'll turn around and wait.
I had that.
And she'll gesture to Taratha. And she'll look to you and she'll go, I know you could take pot shots until you down them. However, we are not one to let our colleagues fall in battle without help.
Willow, I mean, come on. She was doing everything she could.
What's her point here?
It's not her fault that I suck.
You do not suck. Nor.
It's just been a while since I've fought something with such big claws. I couldn't get my shield to where it needed to be. It's my fault.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Again, I actually need to switch this up because my old subclass gave me let me use my wisdom modifier for these, but now I don't. I'm sorry. I think I messed up the last couple times because of that. So I'm sorry if like I made a persuasion check that I didn't mean.
It's all good.
Because I 22 though. That's a +4, but I mean, hey, as I'm proficient in it, I have no charisma now.
It's all
I used
good.
to have charisma, now I don't.
You could tell that Goztash was pretty set on saying what she wanted to say, but Willow, you are able to sort of just kind of brush off that sort of concern, and she'll give you a good stare down, just kind of trying to figure you out. And ultimately, she will say, I will trust your confidence in your compatriots. But do know it is in our nature to believe there is always something else that could have been done. If someone were to fall in battle and another warrior remain on their feet.
Yeah, and they were on their feet. They were gonna win. It would have been fine.
What she's saying is, if this was kind of like quote unquote a real thing, you would be dead, and Taratha would walk away. And they're saying that, because you said that, you know, she was doing all that she could. Their argument is, if someone dies and you survive, there's always something else that could have been done. And they're not necessarily calling Taratha a bad fighter, but this was sort of like a trial.
They're calling me a bad friend.
Pretty much.
No.
Is what they're.
What I'll say to her, what you don't understand is this is exactly our MO. We've fought much more powerful things than what we just fought, and we've done, just fine. The problem is that, we have a certain flow of things, and we were missing a third of that flow.
I know. We accounted for that, and bear in mind.
Well, you have to think of it this way. You could have accounted for it by giving us a smaller challenge, but we have a natural way of doing things, and that accounts for much more than just simply adding another body to the equation.
Yes, but remember, this fight you will be separated, even though fighting together.
Yeah, and I would have fought those things differently too if it was just me.
Yes.
I'm just saying, there's a little bit of it's a growing pains or call it.
So you admit that more could have been done.
Oh yeah, I could have done more. Yeah, for sure. If I knew Taratha was gonna fly up like that, which she normally does, so I shouldn't. I should have expected it. I should have also tried to keep my distance. I could have easily outrun those things, and just kept shooting at them. But instead, I tried to stay and fight because I'm used to having some backup, and I just wasn't thinking straight. It's not Taratha's fault. Taratha did exactly what I expected her to do.
And she'll nod and look over at Taratha and see if she has anything to say.
I'm just gonna walk out.
Sounds good. She will let you walk out. You've done your training for the day. Where do Willow and Taratha go?
I don't know, just go hang out somewhere.
Where does Taratha go?
I don't know. Is there a bar here?
There is a bar there, and you both could go there. Tali is currently doing training on her own, because the point of this is to sort of see what the others will be doing. So you imagine that she's doing some sort of training on how to understand the piloting, even though they cannot actually pilot the Warforged without waking the angels yet. They probably have some other sort of like simulation or simulator rather to make that happen. But you are at a tavern. There are a couple of other Ashina there.
What's the name of the tavern?
Um, the
Because I'm just curious what a Sheena would name a tavern.
I know, me too. I'm just trying to think of what they would. The Oasis.
Dope.
And it's about a little bit past lunch, so it's past the lunch rush, but some people are still there munching on something, having a nice cold drink during their lunch break, maybe if they kind of got later in the shift for their break. So there's a nice, comfortable amount of people, but not so much that it is overbearing. What do you two talk about?
Willow's not really in a talking mood.
I'm just drinking. See if I can hit up like a local working guy.
For what?
Chit chat.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
19.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let me pull up my NPC list. All right. 1 second. I pulled up the wrong list. I'm sorry. Okay. You are able to find a person that kind of looks, like, in a way, no nonsense, but also open enough. So, like, someone who appears to be a straight shooter. And she has a wolf tail with shaved sides, and she's got like a little like a claw scratch sort of razored.
She a furry?
What?
Is it a wolf tail?
I know.
She a furry?
She's not a furry. Like it's like Sokka from Avatar, and like an undercut sort of ponytail. But the sides of her head are not completely shaved. There's just like a little bit of fluff, but in it, like shaved in, is like aesthetically, not that it's a scar, as if she's got clawed by something. And she's wearing yeah, and she's wearing light leather armor, and calf high boots, and she takes her tray and sits down, and she's enjoying a good old meal. How do you approach her?
Is this seat taken?
And she'll look and she'll go, "No one there."
You mind if I join you?
1 second. She'll nod over to the table, to the chair to invite you over, but she does say, "You do have a reputation."
I'm aware. That's fine. It's more of a question if you mind.
No, I'm curious.
As am I. I need to be frank for a moment.
I thought you were Taratha.
Cute.
And that's not her being joking. That's like a genuine what?
Is Frank a common name around here? Taratha will say, I would just like to be forthright. This place rubs me in many wrong ways, and frankly, I've really only ever talked to the elders. I actually haven't met, I hate to use the term normal folk, but normal folk. Do you mind if I ask you questions about your life here? You do mind or you don't mind?
Oh, I don't mind.
Sorry, I don't want to intrude.
You're being
What do you do here?
strangely polite.
Oh,
Are
I
you
pride myself
trying
to
to...
be polite. I take slights probably a bit more personally than most.
So you asked about my life here?
Yeah, what do you do?
I make... And she'll point to her armor. Leatherware. I think that's your term for it.
What do you call it?
And she'll say, she'll like speak in quarry, and it's almost like a whispery sound, almost like a sort of synthesized voice. And it's strange because you didn't really expect that sort of sound to come out of someone who is talking in this sort of register. Um, and she switches over quite fluently and then looks back to you as if like it's normal, but I don't think that Willow ever spoke this language in front of you, so it might have been jarring for you.
I mean, comprehend languages. Nothing is jarring to me. It's gorgeous. Thank you. Really, you do fantastic work.
Thank you. Um, why does this rub you the wrong way?
The elders?
Yes.
I find them overly pretentious and uncompromising.
That sounds like somebody
Yeah, I
I
was
know.
about to say.
Yeah, which I was just about to say, which, as you could probably have heard, probably is the same terms that have been used to describe me. So when you have a unstoppable force with an immovable object, you don't really get far.
I believe the term in common is there can only be one.
I'd say that's applicable to this situation. Correct.
I didn't know that the Highlander movies were popular in Vara.
Yup.
No, I find, well, to be again just forthright, I find the elders to. I came in, I thought, polite and generous, but then really just insulting demands. But that's here nor there.
I have never been insulted by the elders. I think their wisdom is great.
And I'm glad that they have guided you. You, both as you as a person and you as a very immaculate city. But clearly, as you're finding about hearing about my frankly boorish attitude, is that you have a very you elders are very culturally abiding in ways that really doesn't feel like we belong here. And so I'm trying to get to know your people
Well,
because I find that the leaders of a society do not always represent the actual society.
I think that They are good representations of us. We all are in agreement. But I can understand as an outsider why you may not like our ways, because you did not grow up in our ways.
Well, that's exactly the conundrum now, isn't it? Um, it's not that I don't understand your ways. It's the how do I say this without sounding insensitive? It is the I'll be frank. The barter system here, or whatever the transaction system, is very insulting to outsiders. It's very not just off-putting, but it feels almost like trickery
She
in a
will
way.
gesture to like the air like around you, and to sort of like gesture to some sort of invisible force. And she will go, "We do not decide the system. We merely abide by Fiorna.
What do you mean?
The planet and its energy lets us know what is fair transaction and what is not.
Hmm.
We
I've
don't
met
arbitrate that."
I've met a lot of people that say they let the land, let that decide things, and I find more than anything that is a societal interpretation of what they might be thinking the land is telling them.
And she'll shake her head, and she'll go, "There is some of that here, but I believe not with this. Perhaps if you were to commune with the land like we do, and with its energy, maybe you will feel it too."
Perhaps, perhaps. So, I guess what I'm curious about asking, not to change the subject, but kind of on that matter, is how do you feel about this imminent ascension?
Well, we may very well come back, but not to what we had before. It is scary, as is most change, but something we have prepared for since before we were us.
It's kind of like fate almost, isn't it?
She'll shrug, and she'll go, "No, I think that it is duty and not fate. Anyone can leave, but we want to stay."
I know my compatriot over there is part of a clan of Ashina that left. Why do you stay?
And she'll gesture to kind of the same thing as she did when she was describing the energy. And she'll say, "It is a beautiful world we live in. I want to see it stay."
I do too. I do too. I think ultimately that's why I'm here. Otherwise, frankly, I wouldn't be here. Um, no offense to you or your people. It's just very clear that Outsiders aren't particularly welcome here.
She'll like tilt her head a little and she'll go, "Actually, we are quite excited for the newcomers. Are any of them cute?"
Yes. Dashing even, yes.
And she'll give a big smile and then she'll go, "You should introduce me to them sometime."
I will. One's a captain. Um,
You're setting her up for the goblin?
what? What? Whoa! That
I
that
was
was
saying,
very presumptuous. What's wrong with goblins?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with goblins, but he's just he's still like
He's
so
a what?
brutish. So brutish still.
He's a captain. He's a queen's captain. He's the leader of the Queen's Guard.
You're not the Queen's Guard.
No, Captain Bach is the Queen's Guard. I'm the Queen.
God. Um, and she'll.
So I think we can all say that Kelly is against interracial coupling.
I am not. I just know where he came from, and not 6 months ago was he worshiping garbage.
Yeah, and he's improved his lot, and we should not frown on people that have embittered their lives.
Incredible.
Hey, these are your words and these are your prejudices. I am not going to. I think we should do better by Captain Bach.
Sounds good.
No, and I'm like, no, I think you'll find a wide assortment of talent and sites to peruse.
And she'll nod. And she'll go, "Now I really look forward to meeting outsiders."
Are you looking for a mate?
And she'll shake her head. And she'll go, "No, just pretty people to look at."
You certainly will find that. Well, I believe I've taken up more than enough of your time. I appreciate your candor, and I appreciate you just taking your time. Have a nice day and enjoy your lunch.
And she'll give a wave and let you know where her leather shop is. You get the hint that like you're welcome there too. She's not just telling you to send outsiders there, but it's more like if you need to find me, here's where I am.
Dope.
Um, so at the end of the day, as you're turning in, Zola will go to Willow and plop herself on the what's it called? On a chair, and she's toying with some
What's that thing called again?
yeah, nouns are hard. Because I was thinking about what the next thing I was gonna say before I finished the first thing I was gonna say. And she's just practicing like levitating little rocks in her hand. And she looks over to you and she goes, "So, I heard you got a real whooping at the training today."
I wouldn't describe it like that.
Well, how would you describe it?
I'd just say that I lost a meaningless fight.
Well, I guess better to lose a meaningless fight than to lose a meaningful one.
Yeah, you ever it's kind of tricky, but if you got nothing to fight for, it can be hard to fight with 100% of your energy.
You feel like
And
there ain't something to fight for right now?
no, I just don't feel like fighting little illusions accomplishes much.
I mean, it's good practice. That's how I got good. And she'll think about casting something, but then kind of sulk a little, and she'll go, "This place is too small for fireball." But I mean,
Maybe.
I only got good because I kept fighting them illusions. I'm a real good wizard now.
Well, yeah, that's good. But what I'm saying is like when there's a difference when you get into that what really is a life and death situation. You kick it into another gear, and if you're used to going into that gear, it's hard to fight without it.
I suppose. You are a better adventurer than I'll ever be. You want to know why?
Oh, don't say that.
What?
God, don't say that.
It's because I'm never going to be an adventurer.
Sure, you already are.
No,
Kind of
I'm
failed
not.
in that goal.
I mean, it ain't adventuring to help people once. I'm gonna go back to the bookshop and keep teaching once this is all
Good.
over.
Keep doing that.
Hmm. I remember not too long ago you were telling me that I shouldn't think about the bookshop so often. Funny how things change.
Well, I just learned to let you do what you want to do.
And she'll smile and give you like a friendly little nudge with her elbow. Um, and she'll stand up and she'll go, "Well, I hope the next training simulation ain't so rough on you. Maybe
Well,
next
see.
time Tali can join in and heal you up a little."
Maybe. Who knows?
Well, you sleep well, Aunt Willow.
I will do the same.
And she'll nod and give a little salute and head out. And she'll check in briefly with Taratha, and she'll just want to have like a little cup of tea or something. Like she doesn't really seem to have all that much to talk about, but since you're there and she's there, she hasn't forgotten about you all that much.
I hear you made quite the strides.
And she'll nod and she'll go,
Okay,
"Well, yeah."
okay. And then I'm gonna cast Fireball on Zola.
Oh my god. She will counterspell.
Very good. Very good.
And she kind of like she actually, let me just see how. Oh yeah, she does it with such flair. Like she has her tea, and like her eyes like widen, like she's shocked by you doing that, but she very quickly counters it without spilling her tea at all. And she'll go, "Well, that wasn't very nice."
No, it wasn't. Have you What's the most difficult thing you've counterspelled?
Oh, I guess one of those mean bastards that fought y'all today.
You counterspelled a counterspell?
Yeah.
You're going to eventually come across something that is going to be very difficult to counterspell. You're really going to need to focus when that happens.
All right.
Um, and you're going to need to put a lot of, let's say, a lot of your back into it. So just be prepared, be ready. Don't let it shock you when it starts to resist, because not everything's going to be this easy as a fireball.
Well, of course.
You
I,
say, of course. I'm just letting you know it's going to strain you.
I ain't as good as you, Taratha, but counterspell ain't the toughest thing that I can do.
I'm aware.
Just making sure.
I'm just letting you know
I
that
appreciate the
you're
worry.
so. How are you enjoying your time back in this place?
Well, I'm really enjoying it. I do like being here because there's lots to learn from. But I really do miss the shop. I kind of can't wait to go back. At least when, Quen was here and I was there, we could always, swip swap. Made it real easy. But right now it's a little bit more difficult because we're both here.
Yeah, yes. Hopefully, there's a world for you to go back to where there's a shop.
Well, why wouldn't there be? We're gonna win this.
I hope so. But we're going to be fighting literal angels. Um, you don't find that a bit terrifying?
Well, I am quite scared, but I also have faith in the Ashina and Aunt Willow and you and Tali. I may not be able to do much in the grand scheme of things, but if I can help y'all out and help the bigger folk out, well, then I'll be doing my job.
Just be careful. Faith can very easily turn into foolishness.
And she'll shake her head, um, and she'll go, "Well, I don't think that's the case here. I think that you could do with a bit more faith, Taratha, because I can I speak frank with you, Taratha?"
You know?
And she'll kind of lean forward in her chair and set the tea down, and she'll go, I see the same problem with you that I see with the Alcott boy. You both, you're real lonesome at the end of the day. You have people that travel with you that you call friends, but it don't seem like you trust your friends all that much, or that, I don't know. I know, and it ain't just because we're family, but I know Aunt Willow would go to the ends of the earth for me. And I don't think that you and the Alcott boy got anyone that does that. And that don't feel good.
I don't think you're entirely accurate on that front. I'd die for Alistair in a heartbeat.
But would you go to the ends of the earth? Dying's easy.
Yes. Why do you think I'm trying to ascend an entire civilization? Um,
Well, I thought that it's for the bragging rights, because you want to be able to say you had a part in it and be able to leverage that to get what you want later.
no, I'm terrified, but it's what needs to be done. This isn't about bragging rights, it's about making sure that this world has a future, a future that we decide that isn't preordained or set in motion by more powerful forces. This is about, some might call it the soul of the world.
And you're doing that for the Alcott boy, and only the Alcott boy.
No, I'm doing it for many other people, but Alistair, if he plays his cards right, he'll be a leader in this new world. I believe that.
And she'll shrug, and then she'll go, "Well, even that is the case. What about you? Who will go to the ends of the earth for you?"
Ideally, only myself. I don't need anyone fighting my battles.
And she'll shake her head, and she'll go, "And I think that's where you're a little wrong, Taratha, and where a little faith ought to come in."
Mm. I either succeed or I fail. And I don't want anyone else wrapped up in all of that.
And she'll shrug and stand up as she finishes her tea, and she'll prestidigitation it so that there's no, nothing to be cleaned up. And she'll give you a smile and she'll go, "Well, I know it ain't no use arguing with the brick wall." And she'll give you a pat on the shoulder and go, "I won't go to the ends of the earth for you, but I'll fight with you."
Well, that's the thing. You don't argue with a brick wall. You take a sledgehammer to it.
And she'll go, "I ain't proficient with those things."
Not a lot of people are.
And she'll head out after that. Over the next few weeks, the outsiders do trickle in. First would be the Montgomerys and Alastair. And after that would be the Goblins. Good Boy Buddy is a little late to the game, but he does make it eventually. Then come the Caravan, who seemed that, even though they're the sort of latest to arrive, it's not because they were having trouble or because there were just so many of them. It took them a long time. They seem to like make a couple stops along the way to figure stuff out because they come in chattering about trade routes and some resources that they found. Willow, is there anyone you would want to see or talk to?
I can't really think of anyone off of the top of my head. Obviously, I'm talks, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having trouble thinking of like, oh yeah, Willow would definitely be talking. I go talk. Sorry, I'm getting close to them. Want to get talk to somebody or anything like that. I can't think of anybody.
Okay. Corey, is there
I mean,
anyone that
can you think of anybody that Willow would be thinking of?
I mean, there is one person that I know would want to talk to you, but I just wasn't sure if there was someone that you would go to first.
All right. Well, I'll talk to that person whenever they come talk to me.
Yep. And then Corey, just think of who Taratha would want to talk to right away.
Alistair right away, and then I'd like to talk to Captain the Gobbies and the
Okay.
Montgomerys at some point.
Roll me a D100.
Oh shit! I gotta go through my dice bag now.
Yep.
91.
Okay. Sounds good. So we'll say that your thing happens first, but actually, Eric, do you mind if I resolve Corey's things first? Because I rolled to see whether or not Alistair, because it's Alistair who would talk to you.
Doesn't matter to me. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So you reach Alistair before he kind of gets settled in. He is currently unpacking from the long journey in a. It's not quite as big as the space that's for you and Tali and Willow, but it's still cozy and it's definitely not what he's used to, but it's definitely a comfortable space that for an average person they would be well accommodated.
I'll come in and be like, "No, sit. I'll take care of it. You've had a long journey," and I'm gonna use like a variation of Mage Hand and animate object to basically unpack his shit and
Nice.
decorate and all that.
I love it. Alistair looks a little surprised, but he'll sit down. He looks at first that he is looking to do it himself, but brick wall without a sledgehammer. And he'll sit down. He's definitely worn down. He has, good posture still, but there's a small slump in his shoulders. His hair is a little messy, and he's got, sand, just kind of still coating his body. And he'll give a polite nod and say, "Hello. It's good to see you again."
Likewise. How was your journey?
And he'll just like heavily sigh. He shakes his head and he'll go, "It was something."
Did you have a chance to talk with the Montgomerys?
I did.
Well,
They they are kind people, and I will admit I have misjudged their intent, but I am going to decline.
you broke up a little bit right there.
Oh, I am going to decline their offer.
Understandable. I just needed you to see their perspective. I never asked you to join them.
They did. He says with a small laugh. Um, and he'll go. I did much reflecting in the desert, thinking a lot about what I wanted, truly, out of the life that was granted to me. And he'll gesture at you at that one, kind of acknowledging that you are the reason he is alive. Um, I I think it's time for me to go a little off the map, as it were, to try not so hard at clearing the Alcott name and to abandon it entirely.
Where are you thinking of going?
Not far. Bard's Cross, even. But
Hmm.
I am going to abandon the family name, and you told me to, if I wanted to help the people, I needed to be amongst them. And to see change does not mean that I'm the sole one doing it. I'm thinking now I can use my wealth that is left over to help those, to teach those, to open up a fighting school, to show others how to defend themselves.
The world will certainly need that.
I hope this does not displease you. I
Nothing
know,
you could do would displease me.
and he doesn't seem. I mean, you don't have to make an insight check. He doesn't seem to believe that that's quite true, but he also doesn't press that point. And he'll say, "I am going to sell the estate. You and everyone working will have 2 years severance pay."
You're an awful generous employer.
I do hope I'll still see plenty of you.
We have to get through this first.
We will.
And if we don't, I need to I need to ask you a question that I've never asked you or pressed you on. You don't have to answer, but I am awfully curious. We never talked about the day you killed your father. We never really
Oh shit!
we never really talked. Um, I always supported your decision, but we never really talked about what really tipped you over to challenge him. And we also never really talked about how it felt after. Did you feel justified? Do you feel regret?
And he is quiet for a very long time. And he'll go, "I felt disappointed. I believed that by killing him, I would right the wrong that he had done. But foolishly, I forgot how deep his corruption ran, how many lives he killed, that even years later, there are people who are still irrevocably hurt by him. What tipped me over? Uh, I would rather not say.
That's. I'll respect that. But I would. Um. No, if you don't want to say it, you don't have to say it. I'm not gonna force you. Um. I'm just curious about. Looking back now, do you think that you've been able, in some way, shape, or form, right the wrongs of your father?
No.
Do you think it's better that? Do you think it'd be better if he was just alive?
No. He needed to die, without a doubt. But killing him did not solve the problem.
No, it's not a solution, but in a way, do you feel justice was done?
No.
Are
Because
you at least glad that you took on the burden? Because that's what I see in your eyes. That you took on an impossible burden, having to kill someone, your own father, even. That will not solve anything, but that needed to be done.
it did. And I know that by going and abandoning the family name will not erase or ease the burden that I feel, but it will at least allow me to move forward with a clear conscience.
I understand. 100%. I understand. I know you feel like you have a lot to atone for. I don't know if that's the right word, but I hope you find your solace.
Me too. It would be nice to not feel like every breath I draw is at the expense of someone who was hurt so I could draw it.
We are all beholden to our choices. Some might say we are condemned to be free. I have faith, though. Ironically, I do have a little bit of faith that you will find what you're looking for and you'll live the life that you want, not that you were destined for by the stars, by a fortune, by your own will.
And he'll stand up. I don't think if he's ever hugged you before, but if he has, it's super rare. But he will give you a genuine hug. And not just like a quick one. It's, he holds on and he'll thank you. But then as he steps back, he'll gesture to himself and he'll go, can you do the wizard thing, please?
What's that?
Are you asking him, or does Corey not know, or does Taratha not know?
Corey does not know.
Prestidigitation.
Oh, yes.
Sounds good. And he'll let out a relieved sigh, and he'll go, I have not had a bath in months. I don't like it.
Yeah. One final question. Do you think if you had a if you could travel back in time, once you made that decision to kill your father, do you think you could convince yourself not to?
Give me an insight check.
That is going to be a 21.
He. So you can't read minds, with an insight check. But the way that he looks directly at you makes you feel like you were a part in his decision to do it. And he'll very firmly say, "Not a chance."
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I.
Seems
Oh, go ahead.
you and I are going to be bound on some train together in the future. What is it considered the ultimate sin? Patricide?
You're gonna kill Mephistopheles?
I mean, I don't think
Is
I
that what
can,
you're
but
trying to suggest?
I'm not suggesting anything, I'm saying it.
God. Um, he'll give you a look and he'll go, "Do you, do you have parent issues, Taritha?" Oh wait,
Everyone
no,
does it
he.
at heart.
Sorry, I forgot. You did tell him about Mephistopheles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then he'll say something different. He'll look at you and he'll go, Taritha, I don't think that my father and your father are equal opponents, as powerful as you are."
No, but once this is all said and done, then we win. Um, you know, I don't think I can trust my father to protect this world, but I think I can.
Um, yeah. He'll give you a pat on the shoulder and he'll go, I know there's not a thing that you can't do once you set that stubborn mind of yours to it.
Yeah, it does get me killed though, but that's fine.
Hmm. And he will kind of will stick. Like you could still have chit chat after that. But he kind of got through. Um, what he want to say. His big thing is like and you find out through him talking that he intends on starting a kind of like a fencing school in Bard's Cross. That he intends on taking his partner's name when he marries, and like if his kids want to rise to nobility, then so be it. But he's kind of committed himself to letting there be a generational gap because he doesn't feel like there's anything that he could do that can not be tied to his father in some way. And he has been sort of corrupted in a way through patricide and having to kill at such a young age that he doesn't think that that hasn't hardened him in a way that would. I mean, he thinks that that hardened him too much to be able to be a just person. Um, and then he'll excuse himself after a while because and he'll be forthright about it. He wants to talk to Willow, so he'll just ask for permission, or not so much for permission, but just to forgive him for leaving and head over to your place, or maybe he'll walk with you back to your place. But then he'll want to have a private conversation with Willow.
All right.
Um, so he'll knock on your door, and he'll say, Willow, it is Alistair. May I come in?
Yeah, come right in.
And what's Willow doing right now? As
Right
it's
now,
about I'd say 8 o'clock in the evening. The
she's
sun is
probably reading a book with Zola.
all right.
Like not like reading to Zola, but like
Yeah, like you're both relaxing, reading books. She's probably studying some magic thing. And as Alistair walks in, her book kind of closes and she gives a stirred look and she'll go, I think I'm meant to see Quen now. I'll be back soon, Aunt Willow.
all right,
And
have
she'll
fun.
head out. And Alistair will frown but look over to you and he'll say, It's good to see you. I wanted to come to thank you
Oh yeah, what would that be for?
for having the discussion that you did with me, for asking me questions that I had not considered, and I believe that it led me to a decision that is most fruitful. And
Well, I'm glad I could be of use.
he'll explain the sort of gist. He won't tell the full thing about like
Every detail you gave Taratha, but
right.
we can you don't have to repeat all that information.
Exactly, but he wouldn't tell you about like the whole marriage and kids thing. It's more of a, you asking me what I wanted made me evaluate. I had, weeks in the desert to think about it. And like he will say that the idea was in part inspired because seeing Zola teach and train and see how she changed from someone who was, like, for lack of better words, kind of weak to someone who is strong and able to carry herself as a leader, is something that he wants to see more of, and he wants to be someone to make that happen as well. Um, so that's the part that he would tell you that he might have told Taratha, but maybe not so explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and after that, would she respond to any of that, or can he just kind of move on to the next bit?
She's just listening.
And he'll go. How has it been? Is there something I could do, perhaps, to repay you for the kindness that you showed me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Next time you see such gross injustices in the world, just make sure that you're dealing with them.
I apologize. Are you insinuating that I had not dealt with them?
No, you did. Just do it a little faster, more immediate next time.
Um,
I'm
he'll.
not, and then I'm gonna look him right in the eyes. I'm not questioning your character, but what I found is even the best people with the best ideas and still fall prey to hesitation that kills. And so, what I'm saying is to repay me is the when opportunity rings, don't hesitate, and then you'll have done but right by me.
I will. You have my word on that. Um, how has Taratha been?
Oh, she's going a little off the deep end.
How so?
Oh well, she's uh, she got access to a new spell, and now she can be best friends with herself. And she kind of hurt Tali's feelings, I think, a little bit while doing it. And I think Tareth has always been one with eyes a little bit bigger than her stomach, but now her stomach got even bigger, and her eyes likewise.
Well, now there's two of them.
The second one isn't as bad. It doesn't talk nearly as much.
um, he'll go. I was in part at fault at that. I did help her, acquire the funds for that.
I don't blame you for helping. I helped. I've saved Tabitha's life who knows how many times.
And I'm grateful for that.
I mean, she saved my life too. All I'm saying is that we help each other. That's a good. So it's a quality we should be happy to have. You know.
Do you have any advice on what I can do? I I know it's ironic for advice on my advisor, but I guess I'm not sure how I can show my support without coming off as her employer or that it's an obligation because it's not.
I don't think she sees you as her employer, and I definitely
Well,
don't
I would
think
sure hope
anything that
she would up until today.
she. I don't think she does. Sorry about that. I also don't think that when you ask her to do stuff, she does it because she feels obligated. I know that's what you're used to with folks, but I think she does it because she believes in you. Uh, and more importantly, I think you know, Taritha is not tethered to this world by too many things, but you're one of them, and so that gives you a certain amount of power over her that I think up until now you've been a little hesitant to consider using. But if
And
you're asking
he'll.
for my advice, that is it.
Oh, yeah, you could see the gears turning as he's trying to think of, like, all right, so what can I do now? Like, because, like, he genuinely wants to think of ways that he can, sort of show Taratha his appreciation and kind of get that sort of friendship that doesn't feel so regulated. But he's also thinking of, like, okay, how can I be a little bit of a shit? And it's just all over his face and for just a brief moment. But then he'll become stoic again and he will go, um, a final question. I guess there's two. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that we are good now, that there's no ill will between us.
I'll look him again. Like she doesn't look people in the eye like when all the time when she's talking, but she'll take her cowboy hat and like pull it up a little bit and look him in the eye, and she'll just say, "You're hesitating again. We already had this conversation."
Well,
Because we did.
yeah,
We
but
we had
even
it like the
still,
last
like
time.
you did absolutely, and he's still asking again. And then he will go. It appears Zola does not feel the same way. Um, I do not want to disrespect her space. Would you feel that it is best for me to leave this lie and let her come to her own terms? Or should I seek to talk to her?
Well, I see a world in about a year because I've been practicing the divination,
He'll
and in this world I'm
smirk
not
at that,
around,
and then he'll
and
stop smirking.
I'm gonna need folks who can keep an eye out on my crazy little wizard girl. So why don't you come eat dinner with us tonight?
You sure I won't spoil her appetite?
If you do, you do.
I don't feel right doing that. If that is what will
Well,
happen.
you're dining. No, you're dining with me. If you spoil her appetite, so be it. But you can't not dine with me if I ask you to. I believe the way that you feel is that you still owe me something.
Let's roll a percentage on that.
Because he keeps
Yeah.
bringing up like feeling like he owes
Oh no,
will or
no, I
something.
know. I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, because he feels very strongly about his presence upsetting Zola. So I was making a roll to see which one, which motivation is stronger. And you pulled him with the that he's kind of obligated to you. Um, and he'll go just this once.
All right.
And just to make things quick, Zola is quietly fuming. She won't talk the entire dinner. She will eat the bare minimum and head out, just to her room or something like that afterwards. It's incredibly awkward. Alistair tries to make some conversation, and you might engage him, but Zola will never totally disrespectfully, but kind of just dismissive. Anytime she has a chance to give her thought, she will say it dismissing him or, just being contrarian in a way.
Fair.
And like, I can't stress, it's not rude. It's just like, oh yeah, what do you think? Oh, I don't care, sort of thing. And at the end of dinner, he will politely thank you for having him and excuse himself.
Thank you for coming. Hope to eat dinner with you again soon.
Yes, perhaps a one-on-one affair instead in the future. That's not me inviting you to a date, by the way. Just to be clear.
I'm like 30 years older
Oh
than
yeah,
this kid.
absolutely. But he's just he knows, like, I mean, it happens with nobility to have a significantly older person.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just kind of being awkwardly explicit about it.
All right.
And is there anything else that y'all wanted to do, or are we good to call it for the day?
I feel good.
I feel
Sounds
good too.
good. All right. Those monsters that you fought, do we want to talk about them?
If you want to.
I do.
They're that's nasty. They are nasty little. So just so I'm straight, so you have the nullifier, which can at will cast counterspell.
So
You have the absorber, which
we'll go one at a time with we'll start with the nullifier. So the nullifier has hard gnashing, where anything within 20 feet has to make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw, or a D8 will determine what it does, which is being stunned till the end of the turn, being frightened till the end of the turn, or it doesn't move and it uses its action to make one melee attack against a random creature. It has innate spell casting. At will, it can do counterspell, detect magic, dispel magic, and see invisibility. And once a day, it can cast anti-magic field.
that's what that was.
Yep, which is a level 8 abjuration spell. You did not get any of its attacks, but it does 3 attacks that are 2d. Actually, the main attack is 2d12 plus 2d10, and then the other 2 are 2d6 and 2d10. So that's the nullifier.
Christ.
It has 180 HP.
That. Jesus Christ in heaven.
Yep. And these things are nasty as shit. We'll go to the absorber, which is the panther one. That one is they all have advantage on saving throws and effects, by the way. It can if the absorber moves at least 20 feet straight towards a creature and hits with its claw attack, they must make a DC 17 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. If the target is prone, the absorber can make one bite attack against it as a bonus action. So that's a 4th attack that I did not do this particular one. And then it has multi-attack, and it can either bite or mind bolt plus 2 claw attacks. The mind bolt does 4d10 psychic damage. The bite does 2d10 piercing and force, and the claws do 2d6. And as a reaction, the absorber, when it takes damage from a spell, it can take only half the triggering damage and do half the fire half of it back at the offender.
Fucking hell.
And last but not least is the nullifier, which is
Way
my
to do the nullifier.
I'm sorry, the what's it called? Reverser. No. Yeah, reverser. Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Which was the Hulk dog. And this one is the least damaging of the two, but of the three, but I love the reversal, where if when a creature it sees within 30 feet regains hit points, the reverser reduces the number of hit points to 0 and does 3d8 force damage instead. And these three things in the lore of Wild Mount were made. I know I explained this in the combat, but were made for these sort of cosmic style events. They are also immune to necrotic and radiant damage. So that's another thing that kind of fits into that whole perspective of like they're made to battle these things because the main damage that angels and demons do are necrotic and radiant. And I know that there's a lot of instances in Dungeons and Dragons where I feel like non-magic users are sort of put in a position where they're just kind of dicked. There's not much they can do besides whacking things and moving things. And I feel like this is the magic version of that.
Yeah, I couldn't do diddly squat,
Yeah.
which was fantastic. I feel like I just keep looking back at my spell list and how else I could have approached this. But like half the battle was me just trying to like figure out and learn these enemies,
Yep.
what I could and could not do. So that took up time and resources. But that being said, there wasn't a lot I could do in an open field with these guys except
Yep.
to literally do pot shots, which works, mind you.
Absolutely.
Fucking works.
So as a magic caster, and then you could also tell me, Eric, how it kind of felt getting ganged up on by all these, because they do, like, in addition to having gnarly kind of spell abilities, they do so much damage output. And I feel, and like these, if I'm like, from what I read of it, they're meant to be sort of all together. And I'm curious, the sort of battle makeup between the three of these, does it make for an engaging fight for it to be this difficult, or do you feel like this is just a no, this is just completely power sucking any sort of magical ability? And I know it's different because there's only two people versus, because I did this in an encounter with 8 players, which was very different than this one.
Yeah, having two people against what, 5 creatures was it?
Yep.
What is the CR on each individual creature?
Yeah, it's 8, 10, and 12. The nullifiers are 12, the absorbers are 10, the reverser is 8, and it was meant to be a deadly encounter, just to sort of, because there were very little stakes in this fight, so I didn't feel bad throwing a deadly one at y'all.
Yeah, I think the lack of stakes was kind of made it like less interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not bad necessarily, but it's just like I was like, oh well, I guess if if it doesn't really matter if I win or lose, like I was a little like taken out of the fight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like that fight was a good example of, I think, as Corey kind of pointed out, like numbers can really hurt, especially like a martial character. Like martial characters have less broken things they can do, right? So like for me, like yeah, I'm stuck on the ground, like attacking these things, like and so like I'm doing everything I can every turn, but like it's just maybe not enough. You know what I mean? Against so many creatures, because I don't have any crowd control, right? I'm mostly just a thing that can hit things and get hit. And so if the things, like, and I like doing that, and I like the little things I can do, like swapping places with my echo, or choosing when to use action surge and stuff. But it can be hard. It can be hard in like that kind of encounter to know like what I should do. Like I thought about just like trying to turn on the boots of speed and just like running like 60 feet a turn or whatever, and so that way I would like, maybe, I don't know what their speed was.
It was 40 feet.
But so maybe like, okay, Okay, well, I guess it makes sense why they were the runner to me. Unfortunately, I was only able to get exactly 40 feet away. Shoot. I could have moved it further and then swapped, and then, damn, I messed up. That's too bad. But but yeah, I could have like maybe done some hit and run tactics, but it's not really how I like to play D&D, and it's hard to do it when we don't have like a grid that I get to move my character on. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
feel like compulsed a little to like move less because I don't, you know what I mean? Because it's always like it can kind of be a little bit of a hassle. It's not your fault or anything. It's just like telling you move here. Oh no, move there. Especially because we have a kind of a smallish grid. So then
Mm-hmm.
me telling you like to move me off of the grid, then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like, okay, if this wasn't a simulation and we didn't have Tali and we had to come across this fight, you know, barring, you have to do this fight or else you can't progress in the game, this would have been a situation where I feel like we just would have hightailed it
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that, like, I feel like our characters would recognize, this is not an insurmountable task, but the amount of resources that would go into this fight, like, had I known these creatures, like, I'm sorry, had Taratha known these creatures beforehand, she would have known that, okay, they're always like, even if I can get polymorph off or banishment or whatever, they're probably smart enough to work around that. One, I should have cast banishment, and that would have completely changed the fight. I went polymorph. That was mistake number one. But instead of having, but that takes up my concentration on both characters.
Mm-hmm.
So like my heavy damage dealing, I couldn't animate objects.
Yep.
And if that gets banished, well, there goes my 5th level spell. And then you have the whatchamacallit, I couldn't really disintegrate as much as I'd want to, because that'll be thrown back at me. So I had very little options, especially playing on the fly. So I feel like I
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, cool, like just dimension door, and we this would be a situation where like I would go back into town and be like, okay, we need to rally troops. Like this needs to be something where we need to fight them a little bit more preemptively.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's I think we often in D&D don't have situations where we run away. I feel like that's rare, um, or maybe just in my
I mean,
experience, it's
unless you're
rare.
in Eric's campaign where we just hightailed out of the city, which was probably like, and I think that running away and being forced into situations where you run away is a really sort of like poignant thing because I talked to Leigh about this last week, and I might have mentioned it to Corey as well. But D&D is made, I feel, that really encourages success and is
Yes.
extra frustrating when you do not succeed, and it becomes a frustration rather than a character growth point. One of the things I
Yeah.
could give Eric any day of the week is the one time where we had to leave the city because there was no way we could succeed. It was done in such a way that it was like a character defining moment, and it wasn't frustrating. It was holy shit, this is real, as far as our
Yeah.
characters felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like productive failure is a great thing. I think a classic example is, let's say the rogue tries to pickpocket someone in town and they fail miserably because they're stupid. City guard gets called, they get chased out of town, but they still need to have business in that town. So now, what could have been a very simple, like, let's go to this person and, pick up the next breadcrumb, they need to figure out how to navigate the town in a manner that they don't get caught and sent to jail or whatever. I feel like you know, yeah, back to your point, D&D just is very much success motivated. You don't wanna roll low, all that shit.
Yeah,
I
I
also
think.
think it's very, sorry, I'll let you finish, Eric.
Oh, I was just going to comment on like today's comment. I think also it can be hard sometimes when uh when there's like a combat that like just kind of is like kind of arena style.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like here it's just like there they are, there you are, let's go. You know what I mean? Which it can be that often is how it can be, but like with this fight, like maybe like this one we're a little outnumbered, right? Like we might have wanted a tactical approach of like, okay, well I've got ranged weapons, like let's get within 60 feet, like and then, oh there's this like we can get on this like ridge so that they can't so that they have to climb up the side of it, so they have to take longer to get to us while we're
Yeah.
shooting them. Like some like for me as a player, I always like tactically thinking
Oh
like
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? And in this fight, it's like, nope, they're like 15 feet from you. Let's go. And it's like, oh, that makes it like it makes you feel like I don't like, you know what I mean? Like I can't outsmart the enemies. You know what I mean? Or like, you know, like maneuver to my advantage because they're on top of me the moment the fight begins.
Yo.
Does that make sense? So that made the fight like more difficult, I think. Not necessarily worse, right? But just
Mm.
like more difficult because it was
Yeah.
like we couldn't do any planning beforehand or, you know,
I
or anything
mean,
like that.
I did let y'all ask questions, and y'all went, "Nah, I like to be
Well,
surprised."
they they were the ones who were like, well, you're never gonna know what's going on in a real combat, and so
I mean,
you know,
they
I
said
was
that you could prepare, but they weren't going to give you the whole hawk. Like,
yeah, no, that totally makes sense. You know what I mean? But
mm,
from my perspective, my character's perspective, it's like, well, we're pretty good at thinking on our feet, so I guess that's what we'll do.
mm,
And that's what we did. Um,
It didn't work out.
no, and well, like if again, if it was, well, let's say we did the situation pretty much exactly the same. Let's presume that we did that. The moment that um, Willow would have went down, I would have swooped down and dimension doored. Um, those like because it was a quote unquote simulation, there wasn't like I could just continue with my strategy.
so the now I agree to all of that. They're also doing a simulation where you're going to be in a battle that is going to be spanning hundreds, if not, a mile, hundreds of feet, if not to a mile. So Dimension Door won't necessarily save you in the future. Like the point of it was there's always going to be something there. And they were trying to sort of simulate that because, like, thinking about most D&D combats versus war combat, your combat when you're typically playing is only the size of what like your small little group, and then there is a place to escape. Whereas with warfare, there's not quite that, and so you being bottled in is not just because simulation, but because if you were to escape, you're just gonna find yourself in a similar bottle, in a similar square, dropped into a middle of people that are just hacking and slashing.
I should have simulated that. But I hear what you're saying.
Yup. I was doing the blinking guy gif, because yeah, I think there's a Matt Colville episode, if I'm not mistaken, about dealing with warfare combat. Um, but yeah, any other things that y'all want to talk about? If chat has any questions, even though it's probably most of just us in chat, feel free to ask.
Yeah, chat, go ahead and ask questions.
We are receptive to most things.
Ha. Um, I think just a comment. I did not plan for Alistair to do the sort of dropping the noble act route until Willow asked that question last week of what, saying, oh yeah, you've always said what you don't want to do, but you never said what you did want. And it was a big move for the character, and one of my favorite things about Dungeons and Dragons is for the DM's plans with NPCs to go completely awry because of really interesting choices that characters make and how they interact with NPCs. And I'm not sure if you have other stories of that where you were DMing.
I mean, I think it happens a lot, and it's a good thing, right? It helps not like sometimes we talk a lot about making the world feel real for the players, right? But the world feeling real for the DM is equally important, right? And so having that feeling of like things changing is good. Specifically, like I was planning like for you guys to like when you guys were with the people of EXO, right? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't expect you guys to kind of ingratiate yourself to them as much as you ended up doing. Like for just a little bit of background for the for the people listening at home, it's just basically in our campaign. There's like this desert city that they were basically just passing through, but they not only like saved the city from like some dragons who were attacking, but they also like they like helped out in like some other ways and helped solve some other problems, and were pretty, for their standards at least, really nice about it. And so like they ended up they ended up getting like a very nice gift from these people, and like kind of making friends. Like that's an example of like I didn't expect that. Like players often will do what you don't expect, both for the better and definitely for the worse.
Yup.
Yup.
Corey, you have any stories?
Um. Yeah, there was I had players visit a kind of like elven stronghold, one city in a tree. It was pretty cool. And I didn't really plan on this, but just their interactions with this sick, child, and how they cured her and stuff like that. They, unbeknownst, they didn't even ask the child, but just because of the interactions with the child, and the kind of trust that they garnered, when they left the city, the child stowed away in their carriage. And so they were like, leaving, trying to figure out where they're going to go next, and boom, they have ostensibly the matriarch's daughter.
Oh man.
Um, so then, they now had, this like arch druid pissed at them without even them like even understanding that they had this now bad relationship.
I love it.
It was great.
All right. It is 4:59. I figured we can close it up, even though it's slightly the ittiest bit early, and now it's 5 o'clock, so now
Sounds
I don't
good.
feel bad. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to playing with y'all next week and what will probably be the last episode of the Pagania arc.
Which is
Ooh.
fucking weird to think about.
I know. I'll say more slightly off stream, but I'm just gonna have us end the stream right now. So see y'all next week.